Hello gardening friends, welcome to Backyard Basics. Want some free plants? Well, just propagate your own. You can propagate tomatoes, many of the little house plants that are out there, a whole slew of plants, and save yourself a lot of money. It's real easy to do. One of the things that I like to do is make a wooden box like this. This is about 6 inches tall and about 13 inches this way, and you can make them any size that you want. But a nice box, well made, is essential. It'll last you for many, many years, so you'll be able to propagate whenever you feel like it, go out there and take some cuttings. So you make this nice box, sand it down the edges so we don't get a splinter while we're working on it, and then the other thing to do is to take a regular piece of plastic like this one here. This is a trash bag, and I would use it as a liner like this. I just take it all the way. It keeps the wood from really getting soaked, and if there are any little cracks or openings, it keeps the water from running out of there. So this kind of a liner, you can use those big black trash bags or whatever you want, and then I'll put this on the inside, and then the next thing I'll do is come through and just staple the darn thing until it's nice and tight up high. And so there we have a nice lining on this. You don't want any holes in the bottom. You need no holes because it'll just get that wood wet, and well, that's a problem over the long run. This will last you many years otherwise. So there we have a box that's lined very nicely with some plastic. You can use the stapler, you can use some duct tape to put it up there. It doesn't make any difference, but you've got this step done. Now the next thing to do is to get yourself a pot, and there are many sizes. Depending on the size of box that you make, you can use a little one like this. This is a really nice one, and then you have another option right here of a little bigger one. Now I would use the bigger one in this particular case because of the size of the little box. What I did last night, and you would always do this before putting it in there, is I soaked it in water. I put it in a nice deep container and then let it soak overnight, and that's real important, and I'll show you why in a minute. Now, one of the other things that we can do with a container, depending on the size of it, we might use a larger candle to go into the bottom hole to keep it from leaking, or the other thing we might do is take yourself a nice cork that would fit in to the container that you're using and put it in the bottom. The main thing is to seal up the bottom so it doesn't leak. Another alternative is to get in there with some duct tape. That'll stay there, it's not going to go away, and it's going to hold the water in there. The soaking was an attempt to get the water to move through more easily into the sand, and that way all you have to do is come and put the water in here. Now I like a little saucer on top so it doesn't just all evaporate. One of the things about this is when this is full of water, you can go several days. You can just keep, you can stay away, and the thing will irrigate itself. You know, that's really neat. You don't have to look at it every day and keep it moist like you might have to do in some perlite that dries out. That's a nice growing medium, but it's not going to work in this particular case. So we have the container in the middle, and the next thing we begin to do is fill it with a little bit of sand. And you can see right here that it's nice and full up to the rim of the container itself. So this one has a little cork down in there, the sand is in here, and we put the water in, and the next thing that begins to happen is it will sweat its way, into the sand around it, and so when we use it, we keep it nice and moist. It's easy enough to put cuttings in there, and so that's how you make a propagation box. Stay tuned because next week I'm going to show you how to actually make the cuttings for your new propagation box. For Backyard Basics, I'm John Dromgoole. I'll see you next week.